The world watched in horror as the dark clouds of war gathered over Europe in the late 1930s. The tension was palpable, and the sense of impending doom was felt across the continent. The Treaty of Versailles, signed after World War I, had left Germany humiliated and economically devastated. The harsh terms imposed on Germany created a fertile ground for resentment and anger among its people. The rise of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party capitalized on this resentment, promising to restore German pride and power. Hitler's charismatic leadership and propaganda machine played a crucial role in rallying the German populace behind his vision. Hitler's ambitions extended far beyond Germany's borders, aiming to conquer vast territories in the east and establish a new European order under Nazi domination. His vision of a greater Germany included the subjugation of neighboring countries and the expansion of German influence. On September 1, 1939, Germany's aggressive expansionism culminated in the invasion of Poland. This bold move was a clear indication of Hitler's disregard for international treaties and his determination to achieve his goals through military might. This act of unprovoked aggression shattered the fragile peace that had prevailed since the Great War. The world was once again plunged into conflict, as nations scrambled to respond to the growing threat posed by Nazi Germany. The German Wehrmacht, equipped with a formidable arsenal of tanks, aircraft, and artillery, unleashed a devastating blitzkrieg upon the Polish defenses. The speed and ferocity of the German attack caught the Polish forces off guard, leading to a swift and brutal conquest. The invasion of Poland triggered an immediate response from Great Britain and France, both of whom had guaranteed Poland's independence. Their declarations of war were a clear signal that they would not stand idly by while Germany continued its aggressive expansion. On September 3, 1939, they declared war on Germany, marking the beginning of World War II. This marked the start of a global conflict that would last for 6 long years and result in unprecedented destruction and loss of life. However, despite their declarations of war, neither Britain nor France took immediate military action to aid Poland. Their inaction in the early days of the conflict allowed Germany to consolidate its gains and prepare for further offensives. The Soviet Union, having signed a non-aggression pact with Germany in August 1939, also invaded Poland from the east, sealing the fate of the beleaguered nation. This unexpected alliance between two powerful nations left Poland with little hope of resistance. Within weeks, Poland was crushed under the weight of two powerful aggressors, its territory divided between Germany and the Soviet Union. The swift and brutal conquest of Poland demonstrated the devastating effectiveness of the German blitzkrieg strategy. The fall of Poland served as a grim foreshadowing of the horrors that would soon engulf Europe. The rapid succession of events highlighted the vulnerability of nations in the face of unchecked aggression and set the stage for the widespread devastation that was to come. The German invasion of Poland marked the first full-scale military application of blitzkrieg, a revolutionary new form of warfare that emphasized speed, mobility, and overwhelming force. This strategy was designed to shock and disorient the enemy, making it difficult for them to mount an effective defense. The term blitzkrieg, meaning lightning war in German, aptly described the swift and decisive nature of the German offensive. It was a method that combined the coordinated use of tanks, infantry, artillery, and air power to break through enemy lines and create chaos in the rear. German forces, spearheaded by panzer divisions equipped with tanks and mobile artillery, rapidly advanced into Poland, bypassing and encircling Polish strongpoints. These panzer divisions were supported by mechanized infantry, which allowed them to maintain their momentum and exploit breaches in the Polish defenses. The Luftwaffe, Germany's air force, played a crucial role in the blitzkrieg, providing close air support to ground troops, bombing strategic targets, and disrupting Polish communications and logistics. The relentless aerial bombardment demoralized Polish forces and civilians alike, contributing to the rapid collapse of organized resistance. The Polish army, although numerically superior to the invading German forces, was ill-equipped and unprepared for the speed and ferocity of the German attack. Their outdated equipment and lack of modern tactics left them vulnerable to the highly coordinated and technologically advanced German military. Polish cavalry units, armed with lances and sabers, proved woefully inadequate against German tanks and armored vehicles. Despite their bravery and determination, these units were quickly overwhelmed by the superior firepower and armor of the German forces. The Polish government, recognizing the futility of further resistance, fled to Romania on September 17, 1939. This decision marked the end of organized Polish resistance and the beginning of a long and brutal occupation. Warsaw, the Polish capital, fell to German forces after a heroic but ultimately unsuccessful defense. The city's defenders fought valiantly, but they were no match for the overwhelming might of the German military machine. On September 28, 1939, Poland officially ceased to exist as an independent nation, partitioned between Germany and the Soviet Union. This division was part of a secret agreement between the two powers, known as the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, which aimed to divide Eastern Europe into spheres of influence. Following the swift and brutal conquest of Poland, the world watched in horror as the German war machine demonstrated its might and efficiency. An uneasy calm settled over Western Europe, a deceptive lull that masked the brewing storm. Despite their declarations of war against Germany, Britain and France remained largely inactive militarily, their armies poised but not yet engaged in significant combat. This period, known as the Phony War, or the Sitzkrieg, was characterized by a lack of major military operations on the Western Front, a stark contrast to the Blitzkrieg that had ravaged Poland. The French army, entrenched behind the Maginot Line, a formidable system of fortifications along the Franco-German border, adopted a defensive posture. They anticipated a repeat of the static trench warfare that had characterized World War I, believing their defenses to be impenetrable. The British Expeditionary Force, dispatched to France to bolster French defenses, similarly dug in along the Belgian border, preparing for a potential German advance that seemed inevitable, yet distant. Meanwhile, Hitler consolidated his gains in the east and meticulously prepared for his next move. His strategic mind was always several steps ahead, calculating the risks and rewards. He correctly anticipated that France and Britain would be reluctant to launch a major offensive against Germany, fearing a repeat of the devastating casualties suffered during World War I. This hesitation played perfectly into his hands. This period of relative inactivity allowed Germany to regroup its forces, replenish its supplies, and finalize its plans for the conquest of Western Europe. The German military used this time to strengthen its position and prepare for the next phase of the war. The Phony War, while seemingly a period of inaction, was merely a prelude to the storm that was about to break. It was a deceptive lull, a calm before the devastating tempest that would soon engulf Europe in unprecedented conflict and chaos. Section 4. Breaking the Stalemate, the Invasion of France. On May 10, 1940, the fragile peace of the Phony War was shattered as Germany launched its long-awaited offensive in the West. The invasion of France, codenamed Fall Gelb, Case Yellow, began with a surprise attack on the Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg. The German plan, devised by General Erich von Manstein, called for a bold and unconventional maneuver. Instead of attacking France directly through the heavily fortified Maginot Line, the German army would advance through the Ardennes forest, a region considered impassable by French military planners. The German advance was swift and overwhelming. Panzer divisions, supported by Luftwaffe air power, sliced through the Ardennes, catching the French and British forces completely off guard. The speed and audacity of the German attack stunned the Allied commanders, who struggled to react to the rapidly unfolding situation. The German breakthrough at Sedan, a key strategic point on the Meuse River, proved decisive. Panzer units, led by General Heinz Guderian, poured through the gap in the French lines, racing westward towards the English Channel. Section 5. The Wechselsprung, a daring maneuver. The German breakthrough at Sedan created a critical situation for the Allied forces. The German army, having outmaneuvered the French defenses, was now poised to trap the British Expeditionary Force and a significant portion of the French army against the English Channel. In a daring and risky maneuver, known as the Wechselsprung, change of foot, Hitler ordered the German panzer divisions to halt their advance towards the port of Dunkirk, where the BEF and remnants of the French army were retreating. The reasons for Hitler's decision to halt the panzer advance remain a subject of historical debate. Some historians argue that Hitler, concerned about the vulnerability of his armored spearheads to a potential counterattack, opted to allow the Luftwaffe to finish off the trapped Allied forces. Others suggest that Hitler, influenced by Göring's assurances that the Luftwaffe could destroy the BEF at Dunkirk, wished to spare his army for the upcoming assault on Paris. Whatever the reasons for Hitler's decision, the halt order provided a crucial window of opportunity for the Allied forces to evacuate from Dunkirk. Section 6. Crushing defeat, the fall of the French army. While the evacuation at Dunkirk allowed the British to salvage a significant portion of their army, the Battle of France was a catastrophic defeat for the French. The German army, having outmaneuvered and outfought its French counterpart, inflicted heavy casualties and captured vast quantities of equipment. The French army, demoralized and disorganized, was unable to mount a sustained defense against the relentless German advance. Paris, declared an open city to avoid destruction, fell to German forces on June 14, 1940. The French government, led by Prime Minister Paul Reynaud, fled to Bordeaux, seeking to continue the fight from North Africa. However, with the French army in disarray and the country on the verge of collapse, Reynaud resigned on June 16, 1940. Marshal Philippe Pétain, a World War I hero, formed a new government and immediately sought an armistice with Germany. On June 22, 1940, France signed the armistice agreement with Germany at Compiègne, in the same railway carriage where Germany had signed the armistice ending World War I in 1918.